I'm so confident that you're going to love this setup that if you're deciding between an iPad or a Mac for school coming up, this will be the deciding video. For many years, in fact since the first iPad Pro came out, I've been looking for the ultimate keyboard case that serves everything that the iPad can throw at it, with no success. And this is due to one simple rule, and that is the iPad is too diverse, it's too flexible of a device to have a case that can suit all of its needs. It can be a laptop, a desktop, it can be a tablet, obviously. Heck, it could even serve the functions of your phone if you want to look like a nut. The situation was hopeless, that is, until now. You see, I finally found the keyboard case accessory combination that serves all iPad functions perfectly and seamlessly with minimal weight and minimal bulk. So whether you're drawing, whether you're doing schoolwork, whether you're doing productivity in apps like Microsoft Office and iWork, whether you're playing video games, whether you're using this as a tablet, a laptop, or a desktop, this case has everything you need. Let's break it down. And don't worry, I got you covered. All the links to everything I discussed are down in the description below, and they're affiliate links, so if you want to check those out, that way it's a great way to help out the channel. So this is a 12.9-inch M1 iPad Pro, and let's talk about the centerpiece of it all. This is the Doco 12.9-inch iPad Pro keyboard case with trackpad. And let's start with design and aesthetic. Now, I've been using this for months and months and months now, over half a year, and it's a plastic build quality, but it's held up extremely well. There are barely any scratches, very minimal wear. I've had no problems with anything creaking or cracking, any kind of plastic warping from heat or the battery or anything like that. It's been fantastic, very well built. Obviously, design-wise, aesthetically, it's meant to evoke the look of a Macintosh, which is great if you're a MacBook Pro fan, if you love that design. The keyboard as well is backlit to look like the MacBook and MacBook Pro as well, and it's got full iOS functionality. So that includes all your media controls as well as your keyboard toggles and stuff, copy and paste, your dedicated home button and sleep button, and with the backlit functionality, a simple press of the function button and a light bulb gives you access to 3 brightness settings for the backlight of the keyboard. Usually the first setting is bright enough for me, especially in dark environments. And then with the simple press of the RGB button, you have some RGB options here if you're into that. I'm not, but to each his own. Now, let's talk about the trackpad. This is the best trackpad that I have ever used on any keyboard case for iPad, even beating the Apple Magic Trackpad. Now, this is a glass trackpad, and the great thing I love about this, it's a great feature, especially for the price of this, is that regardless of how rough and tough your hands are or soft, if you got oils on them or any kind of debris or dirt, you're not going to scratch into a plastic trackpad, and over time, it's going to become grippy on your hands and harder to scroll and things like that. With the glass, you're not going to do any damage to this really scratching. It can crack if you drop something on it, but I haven't had any issues with that. It's definitely durable. It's just the smoothest glide in the world for scrolling. Super controlled, much closer to a Mac than any other trackpad that I've used on tablet, and of course, very precise with the cursor that you're using. You may just have to take my word for that, but I'm telling you, you're not going to regret it. The best trackpad experience you're going to have here. It's also multifunction if you're into that kind of thing. So you get the gestures, the 4-finger swipe to pull up multitasking and things like that. Obviously tap to click, as well as having a physical click, which is really cool. If you need that, you can actually disable the tap to click function and just use a physical click if you wanted to. And now for the real party trick. You're probably saying, Chris, how can you draw on this? If it's in the form of a laptop, that's going to be pretty awkward. Not anymore. You see, this keyboard case magnetically attaches to the keyboard. Magnetically. No toggles, no switches or buttons you gotta hit, nothing you gotta unscrew. It is now in tablet form, super light. Okay, still got the hard shell back, so you're still protected. And now you can use your iPad in tablet mode. It's super lightweight. I know this is a big concern for a lot of people using keyboard cases that detach and stuff like that. Usually the plastic is a little too heavy and causes arm fatigue with longer sessions. Not the case here. Super light. It's got these little sockets in here that match up with the plastic teeth on the keyboard case, and it just as easily magnetically reattaches to the keyboard case. And then finally, I don't want to forget to mention this, is when you open the keyboard case, it raises the keyboard up off of the surface you're typing on to give you an elevated typing position, which is a little easier on the wrists. Now, next up, let's talk about the Apple Pencil here. Or is it? You see, this is not the Apple Pencil, but it is only $30 and has all but 2 of the features that the full $130 Apple Pencil does, including that aluminum build quality. And those missing features I personally find to be pros and not cons. So I did a full video on this. I'll leave the link to that down in the description or up here in a card if you want to check that out. Now third, let's talk about protecting this glass. You've got a beautiful Pro Display XDR on the M1 iPad Pro, much like its big brother, the Pro Display XDR, or I guess you could say the bigger big brother now that the MacBook Pros have Pro Display XDR as well. But one thing you're not able to get on the MacBook Pros or the iPad Pro is the nano-textured glass. The ability to reduce the glare with the glass having a sort of matte finish. Well, I absolutely have tricked this out with a glass screen protector that is a frosted glass screen protector, which serves 2 functions. Obviously, it reduces glare, keeps that premium quality feel of glass versus like a plastic screen protector, which over time can become dingy and discolored from oils and dirt and things like that. But the second feature that it has is it serves as a great paper-like surface for writing with your Apple Pencil. On the camera bump, although it is recessed due to the case, this glass screen protector also came with a protector for the camera, so I threw it on there. Why not? And of course, links to that will be down in the description below, as well as everything that I talk about in this video. And last but certainly not least, this is the cherry on top of this entire setup. Let's talk I/O. The iPad Pro is a beast of a machine with non-beastly I/O. It has one USB-C Thunderbolt port. And that's just not going to cut it for a lot of people, certainly students who need to maybe charge, maybe access external storage, and also maybe need a headphone jack. I mean, this thing doesn't even have a headphone jack. Well, friends, that's where the Asus attachable USB-C hub comes into play. By the way, it also has that space gray look to keep with the Apple aesthetic, which is really nice. It's slim and sleek. It's designed to go onto the iPad with or without a case. It has some attachments that allow you to do that. And it gives you access via the one USB-C port on the iPad to a full-size USB 3 with 5 gigabit speeds. You also have access to your HDMI 4K at up to 30 Hertz. You have your full-size and mini SD card or micro SD card slots. You have a data transfer and charging pass-through USB-C here in case you need to charge while accessing all this data. And of course, it has a headphone jack. Now you tell me, is this not the ultimate setup fulfilling every need that you could have for iPad Pro? I'm actually curious to hear what your use cases are. Let me know in the comments down below. And listen, if you want to support even further and help me with all this crazy amount of time that I've spent in finding all this stuff, putting it together in this ultimate video for you, be sure to leave a super thanks down below. But of course, no obligation. Enjoy this content for free. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, hit the like button, subscribe, and click the bell so you don't miss as we cover all things Apple Talk, tech, and pro audio and video. I'm Chris Grant Jr. It's the Granny Geek Show.